It was an exciting and interesting round of football that had a lot of interesting consequences to its overall games, and I think we should waste no time but overall get into this. Now, the first game of the overall all weekend was GWS versus Gold Coast. And overall, I thought the game was a very interesting tussle early on. I thought it was a back and forth tussle. I thought that whilst the Giants clearly had a little more momentum on their side, and I think were playing with the conditions a lot more better, I thought the Suns easily could have taken advantage. I thought their midfielders like Rao, Anderson, all that could have easily taken a lot more advantage of the contest. But the one problem they had was that they just couldn't guard Jesse Hogan. No matter what, they just couldn't guard Jesse Hogan, and it really hurt them during this game, I ultimately thought. And overall, I really... in the first quarter, he was just jumping over everything. He was just such a problem defensively for the Suns defenders, and ultimately, he had 3 before quarter time, and I think that really hurt them, and I think the confidence by them was at a legitimately low point, unfortunately. But then after halftime, after the Suns got relatively close, I thought the Giants just showed them. It all showed why they're such a good team, and I just thought they took full control of the contest. It also didn't help that the Suns kicked 6-14 in a 39-point GIS victory, adding well and truly to the inaccuracy trials throughout the year. I thought once again, Jesse Hogan was such a hot mess. I thought their smalls like Aaron Cadman really hurt the Suns with their crumbing ability. I just thought the Giants were overall too good in the end for this contest. So for the Giants, the win's big because I really feel it puts them back into contention. Well, they were already back in contention, but it really truly confirms that they are firmly back into contention for potentially winning this premiership and going far in this competition. And I feel with now 2 good wins, now 3 really good wins in a row, starting with the Carlton game, GIS fans can go into these games knowing they're a chance to win. Whereas for the Suns, it was just another opportunity they had to finally grow up, finally get that massive away win they've been so craving, and they just missed it. Missed it entirely, and it really continues to show questioning for this group because they just can't travel. And there's almost a fake toughness about them, whenever they're with how they play at home versus on the road, which is almost annoying to see. And yeah, it was another opportunity they could have easily had to finally win an away game that they missed, and it might really hurt them in the run home for finals. The next game we will talk about is St Kilda versus West Coast. And I'm really not going to spend that much time on it. To be honest, for these weekend wraps, when a game isn't involving one of the top 13 sides in the ladder, it's just 2 of these sides playing off against that, I'm really not going to pay much attention, spend much time on it. For the Saints, it was a game for respect, a game for just showing that there could be something in 2025, and I thought the Saints, they just wanted a little bit more, and they just showed that they have way more to prove, in the potential long term than the Eagles do. I thought their clearance, I thought Tim Membry having a amazing career game was just phenomenal to see, and it was great to see the Saints fans at Marvel having a really fun game out and a really fun day out after what's been a really hard season for them overall. For the Eagles, quite disappointing. Once again, I felt last week was pretty decent. I felt they definitely showed a lot of effort, but it was clear that the new coach game was not in at all, and it was back to status quo. Harley Reid tried some stuff, tried to get past the Saints defenders. Josh Battle or Wangley Miller are playing decent, but just couldn't, unfortunately. And overall, another rough day out for the Eagles, and still got a lot of stuff to do, and I think now they're in a little bit of a battle for potentially ultimately win the spoon. One more thing out of this game, it sucked absolutely to see Liam Henry go out. He's such an exciting player, such a galvanising player for the Saints in general, and it just sucked to see him go out for the year with another brutal knee injury. So prayers up to him. Absolute prayers up to him. And congratulations on 250 games of Brad Hill. Phenomenal servant to 3 football clubs and another truly exciting player to watch. Now we get into the big result of this round and the game everyone was waiting to see. Hawthorn versus Collingwood. And early on, even early on in this game, you could just already tell that Hawthorn's pressure and overall want for the ball from their midfield, their defenders, even their ruckman Lloyd Meek was just so much better than Collingwood. Collingwood early on looked in quicksand during this game, and Hawthorn built an extremely early lead, and it did not stop throughout that second quarter as it felt like everyone was getting fun. Jai Newcomb, Nick Watson, Jack Inovan, who we'll get to later, James Sicily, Marbior Scholl. So many players were just getting involved and just getting well and truly within the football and just kicking so many goals and just making Collingwood's defenders, Quaynor, Moore, Maynard, look just so foolish. And it was the exciting brand of football that we had adored Collingwood for playing all these years. And it was Hawthorn were beating them at their own game and they were making Collingwood look slow, look incapacitated even. It also didn't help that Collingwood added to the inaccuracy trials by kicking 111 for the half. 14 points in an elimination game. That is not going to do for saving your season. And from there, Hawthorn just absolutely I think they cemented this game why they are my favourite team for the season. They are my favourite team to watch this season, regardless of what happens in finals. I love watching these Hawks, and I'm not missing this Crows game for the world on the weekend, because they are what Collingwood were 2-3 years ago to me. Every time they're on, I just can't help but watch them. And it'd be such a fun time to be a Hawks fan. Such a fun time. And overall, Jack Inovan, is another massive story out of this game, because the way he was able to just terrorize Collingwood and just absolutely dominate the club that basically threw him out was just for good reason. I'll add, they needed to do it for a cultural perspective, which is what I'll say. And for him doing the Steph Curry good night at the end of the game, that was just theatre. I love everything about Jack Inovan. It is just so much theatre what he was able to do. And it really confirms why I think Hawthorn are going to play finals. I think they're in that boat where they could easily play September. And I just think they're playing it so well at the moment. So, yeah. For Collingwood, complete opposite. Their season's done. Too much of a hole, too little percentage, clearly not good enough, 4-game losing streak. It sucks to say, as overall, I love seeing their fan base in September, but they're done. They're cooked. It's done. I'm sorry. I can't say they're making it. But the story is so much Hawthorn. They're just a wonder to watch. It was an interesting Saturday night football game to begin in the night slate as the Geelong Cats took on the Western Bulldogs. Now, going into this game, it was expected that Geelong were going to dominate. It really was expected that the Cats were going to just continue the form they had found, over the last few weeks with 3-game win streak and deal with, even though there was a good effort expected, inconsistent dog side. But overall, what we saw during this game was quite the opposite, actually. I think the score that overall happened was much opposite to what people expected. And I thought the Dogs' hunt and want for the ball early in this game was just so much better. I thought their midfielders just got to a ball. I thought Tim English played one of his best games I've ever seen. I thought Bontempelli's want was just strong, and they were awarded with a strong lead at half-time for their efforts. And overall, I thought that it just could have been more, and throughout that third quarter, it really should have been more, as they just kept missing shots, and they were really threatening to be on the inaccuracy trials be the third team on it this week, as they just couldn't get a shot on. It was just keeping Geelong in the game, despite their clearly getting dominated. And throughout this game, I was watching it and I was literally they'll win this. They'll find a way to win this for some reason. But the Bulldogs ultimately held strong, and they were able to get their runaway in the fourth quarter. Thanks to one man. Jamara Ugelhagen was a man amongst boys in this final term, and a massive reason is why they were able to just hang on and just shock the Cats in Geelong. For the second week in a row, he put just an incredible game together, and it was just awe-inspiring to see. And overall, Geelong's defenders just had no answer for him. Overall, I think this game for the Dogs is just big, because it proves that if they can get their consistency correct, they are going to be such a danger in this run home. And overall for the Cats, I thought that their effort was good. Disappointing outing, and I think they have to win against North Melbourne, which they should, despite them being a feisty bunch. To just get back on track and get back on the winners list, and make it that it doesn't turn into too much of a ride again. Oh, and one more thing. Shout out to Ted Kosey for playing his second game. As someone who went the same year, but it was him. Finishing off the Saturday night slate, we have Port Adelaide versus Richmond. And going into this game, the main consensus, main belief was that if Port Adelaide had any serious chance of being a potential threat in season 2024, they just needed to just take business and smash Richmond. And just prove that they are a serious team. And at halftime, it was a 6-point Port Adelaide, and Richmond were firmly in the game through pressure by Ryan Mansell, Liam Baker playing strong in defense, and them just being able to find scoring options, and the lack of discipline, I think, from Rosie and Butters, which caused them to get grilled by Ken Hinkley, roasted straight at, which it's interesting to see, because he's such a father figure to the Port players, of them getting absolutely roasted by that. And it was going to be very interesting to see how they responded to that, which I thought they did really well. Their inside work was so strong. I thought Horn Francis and Rosie got to the contest so well, and I thought Dixon was so good for them in the process, which I think they need to find a replacement for Dixon still, but it was good to see him play well at this moment as well. And I thought Richmond's effort was there for at least 3 quarters, which, if you're a Tigers fan, which how this season's clearly going, clearly a rebuild now, it's strong to see. You're excited to see. Although, I feel a little more defensive pressure, as Kane Corn said at the Sunday Footy Show, would be good, and you can't be too happy with this effort. For Port, they get the win, but I feel there's still some improvement that they can do, and I reckon showing it against Carlton on next Friday night will be a big thing for them. So, yeah.